So once upon a time, in ancient China, there was a very wealthy man who one day needed a haircut. So he visited his barber. He had known this barber for many years. He had always had his hair cut by this particular barber in town. And the two of them had become friends of sorts. So whenever he needed to trim his hair or his beard, as the barber worked on him, they would often chat about the world, about life in general, about people they knew, about the current situation, about politics, about wars. So they would chat as friends, and that day was no different. So as the barber started to cut his hair, they began chatting as usual. But on this particular day, the wealthy man had something on his mind. So he told the barber that he had just finished a complete inventory of all of his holdings and properties of his wealth. Basically, he said to the barber, "I compare myself to the other wealthy people in town, and I have a pretty good idea how much they own. And when I added up everything that I owned, I found that I actually owned a lot more than they do. And I'm proud to say that I am now the richest man in this entire region." As he said so, the barber laughed out loud and said, "Wow. I, on the other hand, I am probably one of the poorest people in this entire region. I'll tell you, if I don't work, I'm basically not gonna eat. My income is limited. I have to rely on my skills. If I get sick or I can't work, I also go hungry." The rich man said, Yes, you are right. You are right. The difference between you and me, it's like night and day." And the barber then said something that was surprising, even shocking to the rich man. The barber said, "Wow, I reckon the difference between you and me is about 3,000 coins, give or take." This was so unexpected that the rich man laughed out loud and falling forward while doing so. So the barber had to quickly take his scissors away and stop cutting his hair. The rich man was thinking to himself, 3,000 coins is nothing. Obviously, this barber can't even count. He doesn't even know that the difference in wealth between us is in the millions. Maybe he doesn't even know what the difference is between 1,000 coins and 1,000,000 coins. And so the rich man composed himself again, and sitting in that barber's chair, and he said, "So 3,000 coins, huh? How do you figure out that number?" And so the barber said, "Well, I'm around your age. We are getting old, you and I. So I'm starting to think about how I may not have many more years to live. Just like you. Maybe a few more decades, if we are lucky, right? And I know that's not a lot of time. So thinking about my demise one day, just out of curiosity, I went to the funeral home not too far away from where I live. And I looked at all the coffins that they had on display. So, like we're talking, I'm really poor. So, I was looking for the cheapest coffin they had. And the least expensive one there costs around 1,000 coins. So it's not a whole lot more than just a bunch of wooden boards hammered together. It's gonna hold my lifeless body as I'm buried. And that's it. And then I thought about you, and I thought, well, what would a rich man like you spend on a coffin? So I went to the most expensive coffin they had. It was large, it was beautiful, it was prime quality wood, very solid. And it cost around 4,000 coins. So it's 4 times as expensive as my one. My one is 1,000 coins. And your coffin would be 4,000 coins. And in the end, the difference between you and me is 3,000 coins. That's it. 3,000 coins. Suddenly, it didn't seem so funny anymore to the rich man. And he stopped laughing when he contemplated the truth of the barber's words. You see, in life, in your life, what is the difference between me and you? What is the difference between you and your brother standing next to you? We will all die one day, and there's nothing you and me can do against it. It's just the way of life. And there's no material things we can take with us into the next world. So this story serves as a reminder what true wealth is. It's not measured by material possessions, but by your character and your relationships with others. And that there is no difference between you and the next man, no matter how poor or how rich he may be. is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.